Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to our webinar. I hope you all can hear me. We're just going to give it a few more minutes so that more people can join. Thank you everyone who is attending today. Thank you for being here. We'll just give it maybe 1 or 2 more minutes until more people can join, everyone can join, and then we can start. Just another minute or two and we should be able to start soon. Setu, if you're with us, would you like to please go ahead? Yeah.
I'm here. Thank you, Crystal. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, I'm in a little bit of a traffic. My flight got late, but I'll be short, so the program can continue. Thank you, Crystal, for putting this together. Jayasima, an old friend, and we worked in People for Animals in multiple forums together. So it's on the call. And Global Food Partners, who's the main reason we had in this call today, is a Singapore-based consultancy firm, and they provide support to companies who are transitioning to cage-free eggs. And as we all know, there was never caged eggs earlier. All natural. But now it's been the corporatization of the egg industry has made cage-free eggs difficult. But now Global Food Partners is enabling us to make the eggs cage-free. So they lead corporate engagement work in India. So today's webinar is about providing solutions for cage-free processed eggs. So two cage-free producers, Manju are here, and we'll talk you through the process. And from GP, Don and Parizad are also there. All of them, Crystal will introduce properly. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us in midst of your busy time. I can promise you it's fully worth it. Over to you, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Setu, and thank you for your continued efforts in the animal welfare space. As Setu mentioned, Global Food Partners is a Singapore-based consultancy firm. We work with food services and hospitality businesses across Asia, as well as with cage-free egg producers to provide technical support. We are present in some countries such as China, Indonesia, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia. Before we go any further, I'd like to initiate a couple of poll questions that we have. They should be popping up on your screen any minute now. These questions will just help us better understand where you are in this cage-free journey and what challenges you've been facing for cage-free processed eggs. I'll just give you a couple of seconds to answer these two questions before we move any further. So just take some time to answer the two questions that should be on your screen right now. Now I'll give you some more time to do that, and then we can go on with our presentation. This is just so we get an idea of what you would like in terms of cage-free processed eggs.
So thank you for participating. I think we have the results. Chriselle, are you able to see the results, or would you like me to read them?
Yes, I can see the results. Thank you, Dawn. Thanks. I also would like to add that if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please do enter them in the Q&A box, and we'll get to answer these questions during our question and answer session towards the end. So part of what Global Food Partners does is provide training and support to cage-free farmers, as well as support for companies that are transitioning to cage-free eggs. Some of our clients and partners include Marriott, Hyatt, the Cage-Free Poultry Producers Association, Central Avian Research Institute, Compass, Unilever, and Accor. And I'm joined today by my colleagues. Dawn, you heard her voice earlier. There she is. She's our Director of Corporate Engagement. Jayasima is our co-founder and CPO. There he is. And Farizad is our Producer Engagement Manager. So what does cage-free really mean? Now, in conventional or battery cages, hens are usually given this space smaller than an A4 sheet of paper in which they spend all their lives. So you can see in these images, they are unable to stand up properly or spread their wings, dust bathe, nest, or perch. And these are all very innate and natural behaviors to hens. So in cage-free systems, what you do is you completely eliminate these boxes and you allow the hens to roam freely and express the natural behaviors. So why is it important to make the switch? I'm curious, maybe some of you have seen your supermarkets start stocking cage-free eggs. Places like Nature's Basket, Amazon Fresh, Instamart even, they all sell cage-free eggs, and this is because of an increased concern from consumers for more ethically sourced products. Animal welfare is also an objective of cage-free eggs, as well as mitigating risks within your supply chain. Now, the cage-free market in India has been growing over the last few years. There are many large companies that operate in India that have made the commitment to source 100% cage-free eggs by 2025. Of these companies that have made the commitments, they use a combination of shell eggs and processed eggs. Many of our clients whom we work with have asked us if there are cage-free processed eggs available, and we've been able to approach two producers who are part of the association. They are here with you today to talk to you about their interest and your interest in establishing and supplying cage-free processed eggs. So first up, we have Ram. Ram is from UNV Agro. Over to you, Ram.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. So I'm Ram. I represent UNV Agro Private Limited. So we have been in cage-free and free-range production from past 8 years. So we were the first company in India to be certified humane, and currently we are supplying to chains like Marriott and some other hotels. So we are very much interested in understanding what are the requirements the industry needs. And if need be, we are very much interested in investing in powdered or liquid eggplant. The only concern as a producer we have from our end is that whether there will be a consistent order for us, because that's a challenge. Once you produce it as cage-free, and if there is no orders, you have to sell it in the local market. That is the major threat we see from our end. And our farms are based out of Tamil Nadu, based in Tamil Nadu, and one of the farms is near Karnataka. We invite all of them who buy our eggs or just want to see our farm to visit us. And yeah, yes.
Thank you, Ram. And I know that you have been facing some challenges, and that's why we're here today. We want to make sure that the solutions that we have benefit you as well as some of the buyers that are present here today. So thank you for the introduction. Next up, we have Manjunath from Happy Hens. Manju, over to you.
Yeah,
Just
thank
let me
you.
know if you want me to move on to the.
Yeah. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, GFP, for this opportunity to putting this all together, and thank you, Setu, for for a good introduction as well. So quickly, yes, Happy Hens has been in the business over many years. So we believe in transforming lives of birds. We are also transforming lives of your customers who are coming to us for quality products, and as well we work with farmers. The next slide. So yes, we have been established in 2010. It's been more than a decade that we've been working on this space, and we very much understand your requirements, and you can trust on us, and where we, travel with your journey and build capacity building based on your requirements. And yes, of course, we are also certified humane. And you can be rest assured that the welfare aspect is taken care of and the quality of the food is taken care of. And of course, we also have a very robust delivery service. So yeah, the next slide. Yeah, so here we are talking specifically today on the processed eggs. Yes, we are already partnered with a processing company, so which means that we are ready to take your orders. Of course, it is all it is a partnership that we need to build. Where there is a commitment, because like my previous producer, my friend also mentioned that it involves a lot of commitment and a lot of investment. So here, as another producer, I'm also, reflecting the same thing, where we are ready to give you all the required products, because I see from the, your survey that most of them are looking for liquid eggs, and you also mentioned the cost factor over there. See, first thing I would like to again put forward to the forum that please do not compare cage-free eggs to the regular conventional eggs. And there are enough reasons for it, and we can talk about it. But when it comes to liquid egg, one should understand that it is solving a lot of problems at the kitchen for you. So just to take one example, even if you're receiving about 0.5% of breakage or something, so that again adds to your cost. So which means liquid egg can solve a lot of problem, and it comes with a cost. So please feel free. We are ready to work with you on your requirements. The next one, next slide. Yes, the next slide, Kristen.
Yeah, we'll share your contact details with
Okay,
anyone
yeah, please share our contacts and we can support them. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Manju. And as Manju mentioned, that there are some challenges that are associated with having to create cage-free processed eggs in the market. And what we need to do is address these challenges or bottlenecks first. For example, I know that for some machinery, you need 1 ton. That's 1,000 kgs of shell eggs to convert into liquid eggs, and that is needed at one time to run the machine once. So I'm curious to know, Ram and Manju, do you have any idea of a minimum order quantity your machines would need to be run?
I can answer this. So definitely the volumes are going to be at higher. So where the minimum processing is about 1 lakh eggs. So which means that gets converted to close to about 6 tons, if I'm not wrong. But this also comes with a better shelf life. So we can work around that. But yes, we have to work collaboratively where we can see how to accommodate their needs. We can do that.
Yeah, that's right. So
Around 5 tons, sorry, not 6 tons, around 5 tons.
5 tons, yeah. And this is a very large number. And some of the buyers that are here today with us, you may or may not have a requirement for such a large amount of liquid eggs. And you also may not have the fridge space to store these liquid eggs. So because this is a highly buyer-driven market, what we need to do is send a market signal to these producers to let them know that there is a need for cage-free processed eggs. And we suggest doing this through our Impact Incentives program. It is a credit trading program very similar to the book and claim system that's used for RSPO or carbon credits. Maybe some of you are familiar with those. So in essence, what you do is you continue procuring your conventional processed eggs from your current supplier, and you buy impact incentives from cage-free producers. So you are removing the physical supply of those processed eggs from your supply chain, and you are buying credits or impact incentives for the amount of processed eggs that are conventional that you are using. Now, because you're removing the physical product from your supply chain, it no longer needs to be delivered to various locations where you may be working in or serving, and that drastically reduces the cost of the eggs. You can also report that you have 100% implemented your commitment to switch to cage-free eggs. So let's say, I'm just making this up. For example, your supply chain exists of 5% processed eggs and 95% shell eggs. For that 5% processed eggs, if you buy impact incentives, you can report that you have met your commitment by 100%. And what you're doing when you do this is you are supporting the local farmers. You're giving them the confidence to invest in the infrastructure that is needed to set up these egg processing facilities. And it is a very simple 3-step process. First, you calculate the number of shell eggs equivalent to your processed eggs. Based on that, we give you quotes for the price of the incentives. And finally, you pay and settle these incentives. So this is the very first step towards making sure that cage-free processed eggs are available as a physical supply. This is a way to kickstart the supply chain and make sure that, as Manju and as Ram said, that they know that there is an interest in this and they can spend the time and the money needed to set up the infrastructure needed. And eventually, when in a few years' time, when the market matures, we can then switch to a physical supply. Once there are more cage-free eggs on the market, costs will come down, and then you can switch to sourcing cage-free processed eggs physically. Our clients, Compass Group and Unilever, have already put out these statements saying that while they prioritize physical supply, they plan to use egg credits in areas where availability is a challenge. And this can be true for cage-free processed eggs, as well as in maybe remote locations where you aren't able to have the cage-free eggs delivered or the cost is too high. I'd now like to open the floor up to any questions anyone has, which my colleagues and I would be happy to answer. I think I see a few coming through the question and answer box. Jaya, if you would like to.
Thanks so much, Chriselle, and thank you so much, panelists, for joining. I see some questions coming through, some through chat and some through Q&A. I think first question, I think, Ram, if you can kind of help answer this question, is on the cost of cage-free eggs, in the sense like cage-free eggs are more expensive. It's hard for people to implement it with very high cost. What can buyers and producers do together to mitigate this cost? As in, there is obviously given that cage-free is going to cost more, but how do we create this win-win-win situation for the hens, farmers, and companies, Ram?
Hi, Jeshima. Yes. See, like even Manjunath rightly told, see, the cost we can see as a cage-free farmer, we can work on the best of the efficiency. But cage-free farm comes with its own costs, the spacing, the efficiency of the production, and added heads for operations. See, I would say that it can never be a situation where caged eggs and cage-free can come at the same cost. I genuinely believe that's not possible. But I feel 50% premium is what it will stay around, is what I feel. Yeah, compared to a caged egg. Yes.
Thanks so much, Ram. I think in countries where this change has happened, we've definitely seen that as farmers become more used to the system, as the volumes grow, it starts off at around 60, tapers down to 50, and then can reach up to 30 to 40% as well. So yeah, I think just to kind of recap, a lot of the times the reason why cage-free eggs are expensive is primarily because most of the cost of an egg is in its feed. And when you allow the hen to burn energy by moving around, it ends up eating a little bit more feed. And I think that obviously has a transcending effect, and volumes play a very important role. Manju, next question for you. I know that you said that you're already in conversation with processors. Can you tell what your lead time is for this? And if you already have understanding as to what the shelf life is, and are you able to deep freeze these eggs?
Yeah, definitely we can. The shelf life is definitely much better than shell eggs, because obviously you are processing it and also you are pasteurizing it, and then you're taking it into your deep freezer. So you can you have different shelf life. So there are products where you have shorter shelf life, like as short as 3 days, and then you have 15 days and 1 month. So when you deep freeze it, yes, I see a question, can we deep freeze this? Yes, we can deep freeze this as well, and to improve the shelf life. So that's the question. And in terms of lead time, it is not a one-time process. I think the buyers should understand this. This comes with a lot of more commitment because this is processed and this is done for you specifically. So which means that it needs to be continuous, and we need like 1 year understanding, 1 year contract, and even the delivery schedule is fixed. So once the delivery schedule is fixed, then lead time is definitely manageable. Like it's like once in 15 days or once in 30 days, whatever, depending upon the volumes. So that is flexible, provided the key here is commitment and the fixing the volume.
Right. Yeah, thank you so much, Manju. I think, yeah, we all know that anything that is processed volume is key. And I think with the combination of physical or even mass balance systems with credits, one can actually meet that particular volume. And I think the next question is to Don. Don, could you, I know that Crisel took through our participants on credits, but maybe explain again with your experience working with food businesses in the region, and leading conversations with all of them on how companies can incorporate credit, and most importantly, from credit move towards a physical supply chain.
7,
Right.
4,
Happy to
Right.
answer that.
1.
There's some noise coming somewhere. Okay, so for many companies, for companies that are able to find suppliers for physical shell eggs and the price is okay, they can continue to just buy the physical cage-free eggs in some locations. And for those locations that are difficult, they can rely on credits to bridge that gap. So for example, if I use 100 kgs of eggs, 80 kgs will be cage-free shell eggs, 20 kgs will be liquid eggs, and the liquid or powder eggs I cannot find a supply. I will support producers in India by giving them incentives to produce these cage-free liquid eggs for them to get the supply chain started. And within a few years' time, when there's enough volume, the physical cage-free liquid and powder eggs will materialize in India, and they can be delivered to the individual locations.
Thanks, Don. I think, and especially in terms of processed eggs, one thing that came common from both the producers that we have is that there is that market signal and the need for doing this. So if companies can start supporting these farmers by buying credits from them or physical eggs, so that they're able to expand their flock and transition out. And Don, is there a case study where you can maybe talk us through as to how, let's say, a food service company can potentially use credits for their operations?
So for food service companies, we often work with some that only need liquid eggs. They need it pasteurized, they need it for food safety reasons, and it's just not available. But individually, and they also need it to be delivered across India and other countries. And the supply is just not available. And their volume is not sufficient even to run the processing machine one time. So for producers, if they don't have the minimum order quantity, they cannot produce those eggs. But through incentives, if they give the signal to the producers that I need this quantity of eggs per month, the producers can consolidate this volume across different buyers, across different months, and that gives them the ability to have an order that meets the minimum order quantity to run the machine. So in the transition process of the first year, the first 2 years, these companies may not receive the physical liquid cage-free eggs, but they're supporting the producers' expansion plans to create that supply. And when there's enough, the producers can produce these liquid cage-free eggs and deliver it to the buyers within a few years' time.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much, Don. I think another question for we'll go to Ram. Ram, you being one of the first farm to be third-party certified in India, congratulations on that. And we know that third-party certification is increasing. But generally, through the traceability itself, as in once your eggs are certified, be it in the physical supply chain, that is as shell eggs, or also going further in the processed egg. How do you ensure that traceability is maintained, Ram? So if you could walk us through your traceability system.
So our company only deals with cage-free and free-range system. So, and like you rightly said, we are certified by Certified Humane. So we do not accept orders which are beyond our capacity. See, that is why when we go to a vendor, we ask them what is it at least you foresee. See, in case that we can increase our production. See, just for 1 month's sake, we cannot increase the production at all. So even today, I am not able to supply to at least 20 hotels because I don't have the production. And I keep going back to them asking that, please let me know what is it you're anticipating at least. So we are short in eggs today. I mean, I think that's the same case with Manjunath. Yeah, that's one thing. And the second thing is that, say Certified Humane does check at how many numbers we have sold, and we have to give them every 3 months that what is the egg sold, and they charge according to the egg sold. So yeah, that is one way they keep track of our supply.
Thanks so much. Yeah, being certified really helps. And with the credit system itself, there are ISO standards that can be followed to ensure that there is traceability within the credit, as well as similar ISO standards could potentially be improved for the physical as well. Another question, I guess, for Manju. Manju, are you able to, when you talk about liquid eggs, obviously the need for eggs are varied. So you have egg white, egg yolk in liquid, whole eggs as well. Is the pricing same, or are the pricing different for each of this? And again, this could also be devil in the detail, and you could probably want to get back to him. Is there a GST differentiation between processed eggs as well as shell eggs, and what the delivery schedule is? And I might understand that some of these might be too detailed of a question, and we could also connect the person who's asking the question with you, Manju. But if you have any answers off the cuff.
Yes, definitely there's going to be a price variation, which is obvious. Yes, but we will work with them, understand their requirement, and then we'll see how best we can support them with, reducing the MOQs and seeing if we can consolidate the order with other buyers. We will try to do the best for them. So I think it's good to connect directly and understand a little more before we, answer all these questions.
All right. And also, is the unit of measurement overall fixed for this in the sense of tons, kilograms, powder? Is that how it is all done? Or are there different unit of measurements for each of these products?
No, it's only one measurement, so which is basically half a liter, 1 liter kind of a packaging. Is that what you're asking, Jayasimha?
I think maybe the person who asked the question can clarify. But I guess, I think to figure out as to what the unit is. So I think, typically, one could come back to a unit of measurement either as kilograms or as liters, depending on whether that's an egg liquid or a powder. On our credits system, our unit of measurement is actually shell eggs. We calculate the total use of processed eggs also back into shell eggs. We basically 1,000 shell eggs is a credit is equal to 1 credit. So happy to connect the person who's asked this question with Manju to take this conversation further. I know we are about a minute. My last question actually is to Parizad. Parizad, the question really is that with relation to cage free, what is the benefit to the bird in the sense, and if you can kind of take through from a bird health point of view, what is the benefit to the bird, and if that has any implication on the eggs?
Okay, so I think Chriselle already touched upon this. In a conventional system, in a battery cage system, the bird gets very little space, which means it does not get to express its natural behaviors. And these behaviors are very important for the health and welfare of the bird. So in a cage-free system, they are able to move around freely. They are able to spread their wings. They're able to perch. They're able to fly a little, and they're able to interact with other birds. So hens are also social creatures, and social interaction is also important to them. And these are all the benefits that a cage-free system provides that they would not have in a cage system, where they would be confined to one small space not even able to spread their wings, and they would spend their entire life, which is 2 years of their productive life, within that small space.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I guess one question again for both Manju as well as, I think it was already answered in terms of price difference between a regular egg and cage-free egg. I think because it was already answered, I'll sum it up. What Ram said was that it can be brought down to 50%. Science, our experience in other places says that at volume, and once the farmers get, you're able to bring it down to even 40. But obviously, it all depends. Eggs, like most other commodities, is a business of volume. Yeah, we are happy to share a region-wise supplier. So I would request anybody who requires looking for suppliers to reach out and continue to be in touch with Crisel, who is our corporate lead, who will connect with everyone. And I think this is the last question. And I think with this we can answer. I'm going to ask to all the 3 poultry specialists that we have. Starting with Ram. Ram, is there any nutritional value difference between cage and cage-free?
See, in free range, yes, omega-3 is obviously a little higher. But when it comes to cage-free, I think it depends on what feed you give is what you get. So literally. So I would say the stress factor for the bird is less, but nutritional value-wise, I haven't seen much of a difference.
All right. Yeah. I think an egg is, the nutrition of an egg is directly proportional to its feed. And that's right. And I think, Manju, question for you. Is there a storytelling opportunity working with smallhold farmers, working with happy hens and farms such as yourself?
Yeah, definitely. It is a way, because the whole point of moving to cage-free is a sustainable future. So we, believe very strongly that we have backward integration with farmers, gives a better impact on this whole story. So which obviously our customers can as well take the mileage of that, where, they're not only supporting a better welfare standard, but also contributing towards social impact. That's it. Thanks.
All right. And I'll give the last question back to Parizad. Parizad, in terms of just narrating this change to consumers, beyond animal welfare, are there any other benefits that can be told to the consumers for the shift to cage-free?
Animal welfare is the primary benefit that we talk about, but this is also, in the long run, a more, I would say, a sustainable system. We talk about this in terms of one health and one welfare now, where animal welfare, human health and welfare, and the environment are all intrinsically linked. And the benefit of one is the benefit of all, and they all come together in this way. So yeah, I would say that it is also towards your sustainability development goals as well as animal welfare.
Thanks, Parizad. And over to Crisel. You have your contact cards up. So back to you, Crisel.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for all these great questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get through to all of them. But please feel free to email or WhatsApp me if you want more information on our Impact Incentives program, if you want more support in your transition, or even if you're considering making the switch now. I emailed a lot of you with the invitation for this webinar, so you can just reply to me on that email if you'd like, and we will be happy to speak with you again. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Setu, for co-hosting. Sorry, Jaya, go ahead.
Thank you, Crisel. Thank you, Jaya.
Yeah, thank you so much, Setu. I think putting compassion into action is definitely your motto, and we are really grateful for your leadership in this.
Thank you, Jaya, for your leadership. Actually, we will all make this happen.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Yes.